Hey, our buddy Erik
There he
Gudbranson's
is.
with us, defenseman, Blue Jackets.
Stud.
Fresh off the All-Star break, taking on San Jose on the road Saturday night, so they go to the West Coast. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good morning, Eric. Boy, I'm active on X, right, of all the social medias.
Okay.
As an active player, do you pay any attention to any social media, or do you tune it out during the season? Because that is a passionate Blue Jacket fan base on Twitter.
Yeah, no,
It's crazy.
I stay away from it. I have an Instagram
Smart.
account. I actually turned it off for about 3 years.
Smart.
And recently this year I got it back. I was finding myself missing all the cute stuff my wife puts up about my kids.
Right,
yeah,
right.
so I turned it back on for that reason, but I use it for that reason.
Well, that's the right reason.
Yeah, and keep in
'Cause,
touch with my friends and
the
stuff.
debate and the talk and the sniping and the love. I mean, it's all on there.
Is OnlyFans a social media site?
OnlyFans?
Yeah, I'm joking. Like you said, the only one I go is OnlyFans social media.
No. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, so what'd you do the All-Star break?
We ended up flying down to Florida, dropping the kids off with my in-laws, and flew my mom down to spend some time with the kids. And we deked off for 4 days to the Bahamas, which was very nice.
You know, it's a lot of Blue Jackets went because a buddy of mine was flying back, and he was on the same flight with JD and like 3 other players. They went out down there golfing, and then he was on the same flight. And he's texting me. He's like, "Hey, this is who's on my flight right now."
Yeah.
And I go, "Dude," he's taking pictures like the sneak pictures and stuff. So a lot of guys went to Florida.
There was a lot of guys, and where we went in particular down in the Bahamas, there was about 70 or 80 NHLers also. So
Oh, really?
it was it was a little convention down in the Bahamas.
Was
Who
that
went-
new resort in
Yeah.
Nassau, the new
Yeah.
one, not the old Atlantis?
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's supposed to be. Is it nice?
Yeah, it's
supposed
lovely.
to be
We enjoy
great.
it.
Yeah.
It's expensive as all get out.
Sure,
They mark it up there.
Sure.
Oh, they do
For
in
sure.
Atlanta. Atlantis. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
kids
but
pee in the
Atlantis
pool
is
there,
pretty
though.
beat
Yeah.
up. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
family spot.
It is. There's pee in that pool.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we relaxed. It was nice. I got some nice early nights to bed.
I saw guys went a little deep sea fishing. Have you gone deep sea fishing?
I have. I used to play down in Florida. I've done it a few times.
What's the biggest fish you've caught?
I've caught a 40-pound mahi, and I caught a 150-pound stingray. of all
Really?
things. Yeah, while I was tarpon fishing.
45 minutes to bring it in?
About that, yeah. And heavy as all get
and
out.
your
because
arms just it
was
kills you.
that one was my low back, because the stingrays, they let you pull them all the way up to the surface, and then they dive back down 45, 50 feet. So it's just straight south.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
just picking them up off the floor for an hour. That was a fight.
And then the crewmen's take it off for you. You're not taking anything off, right?
No, I didn't get in there.
Dude, I'm scared of stingrays since the crocodile hunter.
Yeah.
Dude, I was in the Outer Banks and a stingray went by me. I ran like
Yeah,
like I don't want to get.
Yeah, you see them.
If they're gonna get the crocodile hunter, I'm like easy game for those things.
That's when you call the captain when you bring that aboard.
Yeah.
All right, I'll reel it in, but you're taking the hook out.
So people don't eat stingrays, do they?
No.
But the mahi they do.
Oh
Right?
yeah, delicious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Delicious.
tuna, right?
Yeah. I actually did a fishing show, deep sea fishing, and caught one on TV.
No
And then-
way.
Yeah, and we went with a fishing captain from South Florida and a chef he travels around doing the show. So we brought the mahi back, cut it up, made some sushi and stuff like that back home. I don't know if you can find it on YouTube. This was a long time.
And
ago.
I
was a kid.
lived in South Florida. There is no more interesting human beings than deep sea captains.
Oh,
That's
they're
an
fun.
interesting
Yeah.
lot.
They're fun.
I lived
yeah.
at a marina, and I knew a bunch of them.
Yep.
Go down below.
Interesting
There's
lot.
like old beer cans and beef jerky bags. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You
Get-
go down-
You gonna go half day or full day?
Yeah.
That's when those full day charters come back in, those customers are loaded.
Erik Gudbranson of the Blue Jackets with us. Hey, so you mentioned TV. How much TV have you done? What's some of the weird stuff like commercials or car dealerships or weird shows that you've appeared on?
Oh, that's a good question. Usually it's not me who gets those phone calls to go do those things. It's other guys on the team. But that was definitely a fun one. That was years ago because that was like a 2-day thing. We went down halfway down the key, down to the Keys and spent 2 days out fishing.
Boy, the Keys are beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, it's an awesome place.
Crazy.
That one was definitely really cool.
Yeah.
Geez, what else? the top of my head, I can't really remember. I don't think I've done that many.
Oh, really?
No.
Huh. Because I would, you could do, have you scuba dived or?
Nope.
Never scuba dived?
Nope.
What about snorkeled?
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay.
Now they have these snorkeling, the self-contained with the little tank on it, and you can just, you're snorkeling, but you can go under for like up to 7 minutes or something.
Yeah,
I would do that. I would try that.
I could do that.
But I'm not wild about scuba diving either.
No.
There's too many things down there.
Yeah, I'm good.
You really got to be. Yeah.
So what is your fear? Like some guys don't want to jump out of planes, fear of heights. Is it like underwater, yours?
No, it's not necessarily a fear. It's more just like a logic thing. You know what I mean?
Why push your luck?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
I'm up here, I'm breathing.
I've been
safe.
skydiving before.
Yeah, I've done. Yeah,
I won't go bungee jumping though.
Yeah, I've done that.
I feel like that would just kill your low back.
Yeah, it's just kind of the and it's you get it like you're strapped in and it kind of pulls up in here and it's uncomfortable and yeah.
Did you solo skydive or were you strapped to somebody?
I was strapped in.
Yeah, right.
I was strapped in. Yeah.
See, that should be a group activity you guys do. Do you guys do, like in training camp, do any group activities?
Yeah, we do. But I mean, obviously, there's a few fine print things written down in our contracts that don't allow us to go do stuff like that.
What are you not allowed to do?
Pretty much everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you ride a motorcycle?
Last call, Columbus Gold. Can't do that.
You can void your contract. You get hurt on something like that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And for good reason. So.
What, like bike riding? Bike riding?
No, that would probably fall under the category of training for the season. So if you were to hurt yourself on that, you could probably do that. But no, you pretty much can't do anything, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat at Taco Bell, out of the question.
Yeah,
It's dangerous.
Should be out of the question.
They're supposed to be celibate. I mean, it's a tough life. It's a tough life.
Hey, have you ever had that, like a teammate, like things are going good for him, so he's like, hey, I've been celibate during this. I'm not going to have sex because I score. Is there guys like that?
Yeah.
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 And then there's probably the flip side of that. Too.
Yeah, and then it stops working.
Like the old slump buster in baseball, right?
So second half of the season's going. Do you look at the game in San Jose as a 2 losses out of, is it kind of like a, hey guys, we got a must-win type thing on Saturday night?
Yeah, 100%. These Western trips are great because you end up stepping. It's just the boys going out somewhere really far away. You're stuck together for a long time, and you're out there playing hockey. They're so much fun, and they're huge for the group. And as you said, we need these wins.
Yeah,
we desperately do.
So I beginning of the year started a sports podcast. I used to do sports radio here, and I used to do the coaches show. So I started to text guys because I knew all the coaches and guys around the league, and I'm texting just like, hey, what's the room like? What do you know about this team? Like inside stuff, not like gossip stuff, just game stuff. And I did not mention you come on the show or anything. And probably about 75% of the guys said Gudbranson is the most respected guy in that room. The young kids rely on him. They look up to him. So, like, I didn't even realize that, but, like, around the league and in that room, those kids, like, look up to you, man, for, like, a leadership. Or at least that's what everyone else is saying.
Well, that's very nice to hear, first of all. Yeah, take a lot of pride in that. I mean, I had a lot of guys that I looked up to for a lot of years in my career, and I'm kind of just doing me.
You learned from that, though, and it seems like I bet in your mind that you were the young guy just yesterday. It seems like. And
I think there's this little bit of a switch that goes on as you get a little bit older, and by no means am I anywhere near the end of my career, but definitely on the back nine of it. And I think there's a little bit of a switch when that realization comes in that it's like, okay, this is like now or never for myself personally, and it kind of narrows your focus in terms of doing stuff now.
And you appreciate it probably more.
100%.
You're stepping up to the 13th tee.
Yeah, 100%. It's so I think there's that, and I mean there's just the growing up when you have kids and stuff like that too. That just naturally matures you, and that's a nice thing to hear from
I had one text about, and I go, when they said that, and I said, he comes on the show a lot, and he wrote, Nick Cousins, not too bright. Like, if I could name like a half dozen guys in the league I wouldn't mess with, that's, Erik's one of the guys. Like, you just kind of know league-wide. He's not like a fighter, but you just know when you poke the bear, you just don't poke that bear.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, and that's something I've worked on my whole career. Like, I knew it was a little bit different, and this is a silly story, to be honest with you, but when I first started with that Joe Vanosky, it was a different time. But like, he was my D partner.
He's a big boy.
He was a big boy, but like, I never told him. I'm like, oh man, I gotta earn this guy's respect somehow. And when I came in the league, I was like, the first guy that touches him, I don't care who it is, I'm fighting him. And it ended up being my second game, and I got lucky. It was Steve Downey, so he's a little bit shorter than me. Because there were some big boys around. So
yeah.
I got lucky. It was him, and it was just, you just don't let people mess with you.
So did it work?
I got jumped the next night. We played a back-to-back with Tampa, and I got jumped by Ryan Malone the next night, too. So,
hey, what did you think about, I don't know if you saw this, and it was a big thing in the league, a empty netter, slap shot. Morgan Riley jumps the guy after he slap shotted an empty netter and then got 5 games.
Yeah.
Is that like a big, because I can't even remember seeing it.
I thought that was an old clip.
No, that was just
that.
3
that
nights
was
ago.
Totally out of line.
Yeah, like the slap shot with the empty netter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I agree with the response personally. I mean, not necessarily the response. You don't want a guy to get suspended. That's a dirty play. Cross-checking a guy in the head. Don't get me wrong.
But doesn't everybody in the league know? I don't think I've seen it. I've seen it before.
The two teams were who?
It was Toronto against Ottawa, which has always been
contentious.
Yeah, which has always been the case, especially when I was growing up. Those games were awesome when I was a kid. But I mean, you do something like that, you better get ready for something to come your way.
And he wound up on that slap shot too, man.
He did.
3 feet and 4 feet in front of the net.
Yeah,
I can see it in your end, obviously, but not skating. No one around you slap shotting it.
Yeah.
That's a rarity,
man. And then the clock went to zeros and it was on the boards there. Yeah.
Could you imagine when I was a kid watching the game, you could jump over the bench to start fights. Like, guys could leave the bench and fight with someone, and you got a 5-minute.
So your line wasn't even out there, and
it
you'd
wasn't
go
even
on the ice? I don't remember that.
Was the play stopped?
Yes.
It was stopped.
Yeah, it was stopped. Late 70s. And then they outlawed it.
Yeah. I remember those.
Glenn Son stopped it. I think it was the North Stars and the Bruins, and Glenn Sonmore was do you remember Glenn Sonmore? Was the coach of the North Stars, and he went to break it up, and someone ran over his hand. He got like 18 stitches. So then they decided to do it where you can't leave the bench. You could still fight, but you can't leave the bench. You get a suspension if you jumped over the boards. But it was total chaos.
Yeah.
Guys would just jump all over the place.
And you think of the league late 70s, Torg, they weren't even wearing helmets, right? Back then, or were they?
Yeah.
When did that start?
Oh.
I remember
like Gary Unger and those guys, they had that long hair, and when they'd skate, it would like float behind them.
Yeah.
Ron Duguay was like that.
Duguay,
he was beautiful.
Right.
He was a beautiful man.
Yes.
But you remember McTavish, and he was the last.
Yep.
And then guys like Willie Plett wouldn't wear. You remember Willie Plett?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was on those North Star teams.
Jeez.
I remember all those from have you ever seen the Don Cherry Rock'em Sock'em movies?
No.
Oh, you got to get them. They're phenomenal.
See, I go on YouTube and you do the hockey fights, and they tally up the guy's win percentage on there, where like George LaRocque against Willie Plett or something like that, where Stu Grimson against this guy. And
they lost the best website ever for that. It was called dropyourgloves.com, and for some reason, it's nowhere to be found anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's devastating.
Yeah.
I'd
a lot
spend
of Ty,
hours on
what
that.
was his name? Ty Domi?
Yep.
Yeah, he was a badass.
had a head like a coconut.
Yes,
That's what they tell you.
Right, right.
Yeah, his kid used to play here.
Yep.
Who was the Red Wing enforcer that died in the limo? Probert. Yeah.
He was a scary man.
Right.
He was. Yeah. He was tough as
And
nails.
then he'd score 30 goals.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
How was going to Ottawa, back home?
It's great. It's it's a pleasure for me every single time. Everybody's there that's been with me throughout my career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even people what's special about it is my parents are very, very involved in the community back in Ottawa. So there's always someone that I get to meet that's brand new. Morning skate every morning. I always have someone kind of come to the rink and do something to help my folks out in that way. And then at the end of the day, I get to play in front of my folks back home. And my brothers drove down, both one from Kingston and one from Montreal. Got to see them. And then I got my buddies in the crowd too, who do some silly stuff and warm up, try and get me giggling. And it's still pretty.
Do
funny.
they have like a sign or like spell your name on their chest or anything?
I had two buddies. I don't know if you can find a clip of this anywhere, but I had they're twins, and they would dress up in something completely random every day or every game. And I think it was like 5-6 years ago now. They showed up, and one of them showed up dressed as a baby, and the other as a grandmother. And they sat and warm up, and the one brother held on to his other brother for the whole warm up, and he was sucking on his thumb.
Hey, we should mention this, Blue Jackets Military Appreciation Night presented by Elk and Elk, Thursday the 29th, February 29th. First 5,000 fans get a Blue Jacket camo-style hat, and then the fans can support the USO by donating prepackaged snacks like jerky, gum, candy, trail mix, so we want you to show up early and donate for that. What's your association with the military?
Down in the U.S., not much.
Well,
but,
up in Canada.
Up in Canada, my brother's actually a private in the Canadian military.
Really?
Yep. He's wanted to do it his whole life. He used to play hockey, and he retired from that when it didn't make any sense, and he joined the military very recently. So he's a private in the Canadian military, trying to become a linesman for them.
Really? So what's a linesman?
The hydro guy.
Oh,
really.
okay.
Yeah, hydro guy for the military. So I actually saw him yesterday. He had driven down from his base, and showed me a few videos of him climbing a 150-foot hydro pole.
Really?
And the guys at the bottom yelling at him to swing it.
So how is the military there? Like here, it's Navy SEALs and stuff like that. Is it very similar?
No.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
It's very different. We very much rely on our cousins down south.
Okay.
For many things.
Yeah.
And there's some very, very, very talented factions of the Canadian military, but no, we very much rely on our cousins from down south.
Is it still like boot camp, very similar, like where you have to be like really in shape and?
Yeah. I think where my brother wants to go, he wants to get to that level. He wants to do some special operation stuff, but he at that level for sure. Right now, he's essentially going through basic training, which is rigorous, but I think the really tough stuff comes later for him.
Who would win if you guys went at it? You or your brother? Now that you're in shape, he's in shape.
No, there'd be no winners there.
No.
Mom would get a piece of you. You'd both be losers.
We used to go at it, and she would just be like, "All right, screw this," and she'd go outside, get the garden hose, and have it held on. She'd be like, "You guys are cleaning it up if you don't stop."
Like a couple of dogs.
So is it 3 boys in the house?
3 boys and 1 girl.
Oh boy,
that was my family,
Girl's the youngest.
Oh wow.